Let's go over all of the current mystery Marvel Contest of Champions because Kabam may be saying to us that we could potentially be seeing in the future Omega Sentinel, Bastion, Hope Summers, Rachel Summers, Beta Ray Bill. We could even see Anti Venom, we could see Knull, Morbius, and so many more. Let's go and delve into this video. Make sure as well to hit the like button and subscribe with post notifications on all, because man, this is a great video. This is a banger. I'm going to get right into it. So you might have seen these question marks come up from time to time in Synergies, and currently in game Nimrod has 3, Falcon has 1, Mr. Negative has 1, Venompool has 1, but I think that's kind of like connected to that particular Mr. Negative, and Kitty Pryde has 1 as well. All of them have various different clues, which means that I've been doing a little bit of research today. I've got a million tabs open in order to kind of go between different types of research, comic book story arcs, and Kabam's usual red herring, where you think, hey, it's this champion, and then it turns out it's not. But we're going to have a good crack at finding out who these potentially could be. Our first one on the chopping block has got to be Falcon. Many people say to me, Rich, did you know that there's a mystery champion here? And it's like, yeah, I did a video on this last year. It's nearly coming to 1 year since I did a video on this. So make sure to keep up to date with content, because I might have made a video on it. So teammate. As I said back in that video, I do have my thoughts on this. Because the thing is, you could say if it's teammates, then it's got to be a teammate of Falcon on some sort of team, or a teammate with Thor. But that doesn't really make any sense, especially for Thor Ragnarok. So what could be the source, or what could be the thing with that linking up? What's been the teammate with Falcon? Well, to a degree, US agent has been. And you could look back to the Avengers and say like, okay, well, there's multitude of different types of people it could be paired up with. But what if it instead wasn't to do with a teammate of Falcon, but instead was a teammate of Thor's? Especially if you go back to the recent puzzle put up, I've still got this strong thought that it's either going to be Beta Ray Bill, or it's going to be a new version of Jane Foster Thor, which, if a lot of you know, Falcon and Jane Foster had a relationship, and I kind of felt that would be a good kind of link there for sort of teammate. Depends what happens with Love and Thunder in next year for the film that's going to be released. Let's now move on to the massive question mark, and that is around Nimrod. Nimrod has 3 of these things, and it's either going to be a case that one champion is going to do 2 slots, or it's going to be 3 separate champions. I definitely think from the top one, under We Are Many, this is going to be a Mega Sentinel, but there could be some really big cross-linking between Nimrod and Kitty Pryde. And I came across in my research this very interesting article called X-Men, the 10 Worst Things That Nimrod Has Ever Done on CBR.com. Now, first of all, it does give light to the fact that Nimrod created a group called Orchis, which is got the Omega Sentinel in there for, because we basically know that's coming into the game. And FYI, based on the champion vote, I do think that some of these could be some of the, fits of the question marks. I just don't know if it's going to be them, because let's face it, Kabam could put any of these in. They don't want to tell you what they're going to release, but it's still interesting to see. Now you can find out that Nimrod's done some terrible things, like killed Kitty Pryde, and there's going to be a name that's going to crop up in a minute we need to look into, Rachel Summers. There's also a cybernetic character he created, or Nimrod created this person, this being, this cybernetic beast that is Bastion, who has done, again, some terrible things. I think killing off Nightcrawler. A lot of really, really bad stuff Bastion has done. So yeah, I can definitely feel him being this resistance is futile synergy, especially with what Bastion has done. Now, just before I go into explaining the story around why I've got Rachel Summers and Hope Summers in, it's probably important to kind of explain the family tree, because we know Cyclops, we know Havoc, these Summers family. And yeah, like the daughter of Cyclops, which is here, she's called Prestige in some ways, nothing to do with in-game. Rachel Grey, or Rachel Grey Summers, Rachel Summers, whatever you want to, it's kind of like, let's just say, daughter of Cyclops, and Jean Grey. There's a lot of comic book related stuff. Let's just kind of go with it's easy to explain that. And also the adopted daughter of Cable, which is Hope Summers. So those are the 2 kind of Summers there with the family tree. How does that link to what we're trying to push about the potential of them being one of these synergy champions? Well, first of all, there's been battles between Nimrod and Hope Summers, first and foremost. And secondly, Nimrod actually went after hunting Rachel Summers. And the cool link with like this stuff is that it could be new wave. It could be this synergy here, because it's like talking about the idea of incinerates. You know, this character would have the Phoenix Force, Phoenix Fire, possibly stuff like that. It just feels to me that it could link rather nicely, if indeed, you know, that is the case. And this quite possibly could link rather nicely into this synergy here. So Kitty Pryde has Fire and Dragons. So Fire and Dragons. Okay, what could link those? There's two options of this. One being taking from where we had the Nimrod synergy, and one champion that goes across two champions for the purpose of linking is indeed Rachel Summers, which could have some bearing on that. Could be, again, down to that Hope Summers link that we talked about, the idea of, okay, well, you know, Phoenix Force, Fire and stuff. That could be a really solid link. There's been a potential romantic relationship, or kind of a flirtatious thing with Rachel Summers back a while ago, especially during some times with Excalibur. So yeah, like anything could really be a possibility there. But that doesn't rule out something that connects the comic book arc of Marauders. Because the Marauders arc has this. Look, Pyro, a dragon, Fire, Kitty Pryde in the same kind of outfit. So that kind of makes a lot more sense. But do bear in mind, as I said, Kabam do be liking throwing red herrings your way, which means that, look, expect the unexpected. I think we've got to be brutally honest here, it just seems like it fits more for it just to be Pyro. Also, we did talk about the idea of more Brotherhood of Mutants, especially linking down here for this. And especially to see, it's, you know, just close here, we kind of like Brotherhood of Mutant stuff. I put either Blob, Toad, or Pyro back when I did my August prediction. So yeah, look, it's a possibility. More Brotherhood of Mutants could be on their way. Now, we may have a problem in our midst, and that is Healing Touch. As a lot, you know, the Mr. Negative synergy had a question mark there, which we thought, right, okay, so this is going to be something. A lot of us went to, first of all, Anti Venom, which makes perfect sense because it's got Venom, and then because Mr. Negative had such an impact to allow Eddie Brock to be healed of his cancer, it did mean that the way that the Anti Venom synergy worked, or the Anti Venom worked, was that he was able to be a good guy as opposed to Venom being the bad guy, so to speak. So this definitely could be an option. But still, I don't want to rule out the fact that Knull seems to be something that the player base wants to see. The way that the puzzle looks, it does look like it's pretty strong to have that as a character within this game, which does seem to fit rather well, but it's kind of a bit askew now. So I don't know if maybe Kabam have kind of backtracked in like doing something with this synergy, especially with the fact that they're missing the question mark, and also looks like they've changed something in some sort of way. So hopefully it's fine. But also, I don't want to rule out the fact that Morbius and all these kind of like nightmare, dreamy type sequence things that have been put into game, these little kind of like it was a dream thing, could be like promoting this character to come to the game. It's not 100% kind of like a lock. It's just a case like it's got this kind of like vibe to it. So whether or not it's going to be like a dark character, it kind of Knull and Morbius to a degree fit that. More so Knull than Morbius. And I don't want to rule out the idea of Black Tarantula, which was kind of like an iffy one. There is some definite links there, but it's not like a solid lock on it. I just kind of think that there's got some story angles. I think that a lot of players would complain about the way that the character looks, especially compared with, say, Spider-Man characters as well. So I think Kabam would not do that one just on that principle. So yeah, options are open for that one. And also, and finally, Venompool, which I think largely interacts with some of the ones that we've talked about, in this video so far, mainly like the last section talking about Mr. Negative, because I think that it's going to be one for the other. So it'd probably be something like Anti Venom, or it will be like a symbiote linking character. Could be Knull for that matter. It could be even one other. Maybe even could be like a different symbiote variant. You know, there's so many different options that could be available for this. What are your thoughts on what characters could be fitting those question marks? And as well, is there something that you kind of feel like, that's kind of like a fit better, or do you think that Kabam are going to go more red herring and more kind of random when it comes to putting in these characters? Thoughts in the comment section down below. That has been the video. Thank you very much for watching. It was a lot of fun putting this together. And the usual, ladies and gentlemen, make sure to check out some of the content on screen right now. I've probably put something fresh to the left-hand side because I've had the same video for a little while. So yeah, most recent upload is on the right-hand side, and in right and center is Rich's Revolution, where I cover Marvel Future Revolution content, and I'm having a ball playing that game. So come along and see what the crack is about. Not literal crack, but thanks very much for watching. See you soon. Bye bye.